of Alabama, the Honorable Dr. Governor Robert Bentley.
Got another title? Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. And it's a privilege to be here today with Mayor Strange and also Speaker Hubbard and President Pro Tem Dale Marsh, Representative Phil Williams, Senator Dick Brubaker, and also Pastor James. Craig. David Craig. Somebody had my notes wrong on here. I bet you a while ago, though, but we appreciate you coming down. Yes, thank you. But they also will speak in that order in just a minute. You know, we're standing here in front of Old Cloverdale Elementary School. My wife went to school here. I called her a while ago. I said, Diane, is that the school where you went to elementary school? She said, this is where I went to elementary school, right here, when it was Cloverdale Elementary School. It's no longer being used as a school at the present time. Is that right, Mayor? It's not.
Yes, but church services are held here for the church you got married in, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
First United Methodist.
All right. But it is a pleasure to be here with all these today, and they will speak in that order in just a few minutes when I finish speaking. But first of all, let me say good morning to everybody. You know, every child deserves a quality education in the state of Alabama, and they deserve access to a quality school. You know, for too long we have had like one-size-fits-all approach to educating our children in this state. And for too long our children in parts of our state have not had the access to quality education as children in other parts of the state have. We're here today to announce somewhat of a solution to that. This solution will give schools the tools that they need to better prepare all of our students, and we want to give all of our children the opportunity to succeed. Who in Alabama would not want that? I cannot understand anybody that would not want to give the children of this state the opportunity to do better than what we're doing at the present time, even though we have made some great strides in the last few years. And I want to commend our teachers for what they have done over the past few years, because our reading scores are up, our math scores are up, but we can still do better. But there are still a lot of school systems in this state that are failing, and they need some help. This allows greater flexibility for our school systems. We can custom tailor the education that they provide to meet the needs of the students of their schools. For example, local school systems would be given more areas and more flexibility in funding and adoption of textbooks, their hands-on learning initiatives for their students, and other things also. In exchange, school systems would agree to greater accountability for student achievement and system performance. And number two, this act that we're going to talk about today calls for the creation of a limited number of public charter schools. Public charter schools are about choice. Public charter schools are public schools that empower parents and students to choose a new option if their local school is failing. That is, public charter schools recognize the skills that teachers have and allow those teachers to identify the best ways to use their skills to reach their students. Public charter schools are about opportunity. They give students another chance to succeed. They open the door to a new world of learning. Charter schools are a new option in areas where schools have historically lagged behind state and national standards. And we refuse to deny our children a new opportunity to succeed. In summary, this act is all about flexibility. It's all about choice. We want local school systems to have the local control. And we want them to have that because they are the ones that really know the children best. This act empowers schools to do better in meeting the needs of our students. Also, we believe that that charter schools will give parents and students this new choice if we institute this correctly. We will have a high accountability standard for these schools if we give them the freedom that we're going to give them in this bill. And the bottom line is this: A good education should not be determined by socioeconomic status or geography. These options that we're going to give will help all children with their abilities to succeed. Now let's put politics aside and let's focus on what's important. Let's make every school better so that every student has the access to a quality education and a quality school. I want to thank the sponsors of this bill that we're going to put in this week. They have worked extremely hard on that. I want to thank the leadership in the House, Speaker Hubbard and Pro Tem Marsh, and all the people who have worked so hard on this. And we'll work through this and come up with a very good bill that I think will be acceptable to the people of Alabama, because the people of Alabama believe that our students deserve the best. And I think this is a way that we can present, there is a way that we can present this so that I believe that it'll be acceptable to everyone. So
today is a day where we tell the people of Alabama, the taxpayers and the students, that the status quo is not an option. We are not going to continue to accept persistently underperforming schools in the state of Alabama. And today we're telling the taxpayers and the students that we're going to provide options through public education for every child in Alabama, as the governor said, regardless of where they live, how much money their parents make. And we're never going to tell tax-paying parents that you have no choice but to send your child to a persistently underperforming school. You have no options, even though you're a taxpayer. That's just unacceptable. We have to make sure that every child in Alabama is offered a quality education at a quality school. And this bill is going to go a long way to making that happen. It's all about competition and providing options. It's not just a charter bill, it's a school flexibility bill. And very excited about the way that this has come together. I want to thank the staff, the governor's staff, my staff, the pro tem staff, the sponsors. This has been months in the making, and going through different processes, visiting charter schools, talking to superintendents, talking to principals, talking to parents, to come up with the best plan. And I am absolutely confident that this bill that meshes together options that local school systems will have available to them, regardless of where they are, whether they're underperforming or a high-performing school, we will provide them with flexibility that is unprecedented, in addition to providing an option charter schools, public charter schools. Now, some people they don't understand what charter schools are. You'll have the naysayers saying, oh, you're taking money away from public schools. That's absolutely not the case. These are public schools where the money follows the student. So it would be no different than if a student was leaving one school system and moving to another one, where the school follows the student. We're not taking money away, we're just providing options. Are charter schools an option or needed in all school districts? Absolutely not. But they are needed in some areas where it will provide an option that's not available now, other than a school that is underperforming. We feel like we're just providing tools. As the governor said, this is part of a toolbox that we're providing to educators and to education administrators that they're able to use to make education better in their school district. And the flexibility, I know that the superintendents, I know that school boards will be excited about having this option for the first time, where they can actually apply to the school system, the state school superintendent, to have some flexibility from some of the regulations, so we can cut through the red tape and do what we're supposed to do in the state of Alabama as far as education, and that's educating kids. I look forward to supporting this bill as it goes through the process. I'm absolutely confident that we will be successful in passing a bill. And again, as I said at the outset, that the status quo and just accepting persistently underperforming schools and accepting the fact that we have schools that are not competitive will be a thing of the past in the state of Alabama. I look forward to starting that today. This time I'd like to introduce my friend and colleague who has also been instrumental in the formation of this bill, Speaker Pro Tem Dale Marsh.
The children of this state are the building blocks to our future. We all know that. And we owe it to the children to give them the best possible education we can in this state, and we owe it to their parents. And we also owe it to the many businesses that have chosen to come to this state and set up shop, that they have an educated workforce for the careers of the future. So with that, I'm committed to work with Governor Bentley. I thank him for pushing with this initiative. I'm going to work with the House, and it's my job as President of the Senate to make sure we get meaningful legislation passed this session that deals with these issues, to give children more choices and their parents, and to make sure that the businesses of our state have the best educated workforce possible coming out of our schools. And I'm committed to doing that, and I'm a pleasure to be here today for this commitment. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce Representative Phil Williams.
Good morning, everybody. This is an exciting day. Ultimately, this bill that we plan to drop does 4 things, and it does 4 things for families and for children. That's the focus of this bill. It's about us as a state having 132 separate school districts. Why do we treat them all the same? Let's let them request tools to help further education for our students. I think it's a very good thing that this all boils down to parents and children. And I would like to thank the governor, the speaker, Dale Marsh, Senate Pro Tem, Jason and Emily for all the work they've done on this bill. It's a very exciting day. Across America, there's this movement called education reform that began in the 90s. Charter schools is a part of that, and there's lots of things that get caught up in this big catch-all called education reform. We've looked at all states that do this. 41 states have charters. It's time that we have options as well. But we've learned a lot looking at the other states on things that may work in addition to charter schools, and this legislation captures that. So in a nutshell, I think of this as a buffet of options. And when you go to a buffet, you choose what works for your district, and you request a waiver for those things in exchange for having an accountability process to be able to demonstrate that having that waiver will raise educational levels. So again, I'm thrilled to be here. I look forward to having the debate on this bill, and please stay tuned.
I'm Dick Brubaker. I'll be handling this legislation in the Senate. And look, this is America. We don't tell people where to live. We don't tell them what news media to pay attention to. We don't tell them where to live. We don't tell them what kind of job they can have. But we do tell you where you have to send your kid to school. Now, for the last several years, the State Department of Education has made public a list of persistently underperforming schools. To get on this list, you have to be in the bottom 5% of schools in Alabama in both reading and math assessments for 3 years in a row. Now, it is just not right to tell parents whose children are zoned for those schools that you don't have any choices. You've got to send them there no matter what, even though the state says this school is underperforming. Parents need choices. The flexibility bill and the charter bill are fundamentally about giving the people who care about these children most and know them best, their parents, more control over their children's education. And there's going to be a lot of hype about this bill. The flexibility bill, as long as I've been in education policy, and that's since the early 90s, superintendents have come to me and said,
Sorry about that, Bill.
no, man, your city services are on the job, man. That's good. Looks like they're coming here.
Man, you're on fire.
I know, it must be. I said that if you guys in Montgomery would get out of our way, we could run our school systems a lot better. So you could call this the put up or shut up bill. We are giving superintendents and school boards what they've asked for decades. Flexibility from bureaucratic regulation. If this bill passes, they're going to have it. So this is a step forward for Alabama. It's a step forward for the school systems. It's a step forward for parents, teachers, students, and certainly for the local boards that govern our schools. And I believe very firmly that when this bill comes before the Senate, it'll get positive consideration. Thank you.